Hello there, and welcome back to Purple Figs. My name is Jason Mellon, as ever. And my name is Jason Mellon, comma, as ever. See, I can't edit it like I do my poems. I got to do this on the fly. Kim Baker is here with me today. How are you, Kim?
I'm fine. I told Jason earlier I'm Kimmy B today because I we have our Cape Cod Ken spring variety show outside the lines next week, and I'm the MC. So I have to get in character after poetry.
And I know it's always a different lineup, but certainly in the past these shows have featured some poets as well. So if you're a
Absolutely.
poetry lover, these shows are not to be missed. They're really wonderful. You get to see some great performances, music, song, dance, poetry. It's just a blast, and with an incredible MC too, I will say.
She's not the star, but she does love to be there. She
Yeah.
laughs and dances and sings along with everybody. It's joyous, joyous event.
Speaking of joyous, Kim, can you tell us a little bit about what we're doing here today? I'm sure Joy will come into it at some point.
We are doing Purple Figs, our signature program of poetry and art here at Cotuit Center for the Arts. This is an ancient practice back to the Greeks called ekphrasis, and it's for us a response to a work of art that's in our gallery. We try to take a piece, at least from every art exhibit, and respond to it in poetry, then share it with you, keep the conversation going. Hope you'll come in and view the exhibits that we have on display and maybe even try your hand at this if you're so inclined.
So, Kim, in our last episode, you actually shared a piece that you had written in response to our current exhibit. Can you tell the folks watching a little bit about that exhibit?
That exhibit is Rebecca Skinner, and it's called Wanderings. And this is an incredible photographic exhibit of abandoned places. And so provocative. I mean, Jason and you and I have talked about the fact that, we're often moved by, extraordinary works of art that are in our gallery, but we keep finding new ways into all of these pieces of Rebecca's. And it's been an incredible journey up until June 9th. If you want to come down and see it this weekend, we're here.
Yeah, I know I've heard you having this experience, Kim. Everyone you walk through the exhibit with brings something new to the table. It's really some remarkable work. Don't miss it. Please come by, check it out, see her work, head to her website as well. It's really amazing. She'll just look, at satellite images of the planet and find a place and say, that looks
Mhm.
abandoned and I'm going to go there. And she comes back, with these sort of relics and eulogies for, lost places.
Mhm.
Um,
Yes.
so, Kim, today I've written something based on a very favorite piece of mine. Those of you who know me will not be surprised. You saw it earlier, and I'd love to share it with you now.
Go right ahead. Can't wait to hear it.
All right. So this piece is called Dead God, and it's inspired by the palace, which you saw at the beginning is an abandoned theater. So I know I should not be drinking wine, but it's what you would have wanted. I know I should build your pyre, but there's nothing left to burn save brick and rebar. I know I should open the curtain and sing your name, but everything that can rot here has. Is it enough to know a temple what stood here in your name? That applause like thunder rolled through here like worship. Your priests' rituals of masquerade and music, greater than life, more vital than bread and wine, brief as breath, matter all the more now that you're gone and your temple stands desecrated. I take another sip and hope it's worth it. It's 2:48 p.m. on a Sunday in July, but the room is full of light, and I can see clearly the work of the artists who have scavenged what remains of this hallowed space. Uh, Work that will also be lost when those who bring calamity to the divine revelations of the pagans move in. I know I should drink no more, but I do. I know I should mourn you, but I don't. I know I should make my exit, but part of me will always be with you, your body wrapped in a tattered muslin backdrop with a few drops of red wine above your mouth.
This ending takes my breath away, quite frankly. Um, but so much of the poem does. This is exquisite, and something about this is almost like Dear God as well as the title Dead God.
Mhm.
There's a conversation happening here, and it feels like a very strong um, analogy to, or a sort of living with feelings about being Catholic, being some kind of Christian. There are a lot of imagery here. Can you talk a little bit about what inspired you in that respect?
Yeah, it's. I mean, you certainly hit on the beginning of it. So I sort of struggled to get my way into this one. I knew as soon as I saw this piece come in, sitting on the floor before it even hung, I said, "Oh,
Mhm,
not only am I taking that one home with me, but
mhm,
also this is what I'm going to respond to." Theater is my first love. I perform, I direct, I produce. It just like it, it's consuming in a way,
mhm.
and so to see such a sort of beautiful grand space fallen like this. I said in a performance years ago, a quiet theater is a church,
Yes.
and to me, like the silence of this image sort of pervaded the whole thing. So I was like, I need to like find that religious voice. Um, so I sort of came to it saying, well, the theater is dead. That means the god that inhabited it is as well. So I had this vision of Dionysus
Mhm,
sort of wrapped in a backdrop, ready to be mourned, but there's no one left. The priests are gone. Everything is sort of abandoned. And I, in my imperfect way, um, you know, have the wine to consecrate your leaving. I have sort of the rights that I know, but they're not the right ones.
mhm.
you know,
Yeah.
doing ekphrasis, of course, my mind is going to go back to the Greeks. Um,
Mhm,
so it was here I stand in your temple, desecrated now, falling apart. Um, but also having this experience doing theater of Dionysus is a god, like Christ, of death and rebirth. Um, and the theater itself is that.
mhm.
Performance comes to life and then fades away and leaves only the silence behind. So, in a way, even though I didn't know the right words, I knew what to do. And though, so to your point about the ending, I knew I had to drink the wine and I had to leave some, uh, you know, with him as well. So it was a very exciting sort of piece to write because it sort of became this confluence of so many different things for me.
What I love about it is it's a beautiful homage, but it's very personal. And as you explained, it did remind me of your monologue during COVID of being in that empty temple that was quiet and dark, and we could not use, and people couldn't come and enjoy with us and whatnot. So I went right there with you, and was grateful to be there. The line that applause like thunder rolled through here like worship was just not only fabulous for me, but sort of in the middle of this poem, and those questions in the middle were great. But could you just talk a little bit about, you sort of come back and repeat the same ideas from the beginning, and what might that have been for you? The drinking no more, the mourning, etc. What was that coming back to it for you?
Yeah. Again, it is sort of a confluence of a bunch of things, but most directly that idea of drinking, like for my own health, I don't drink anymore.
Mhm,
And, uh, were I still going to church, like no one would be making me do it. No one would, make you take wine at Eucharist. But at the same time, am I not having a less complete experience somehow?
interesting.
Um, and I felt that strong. I mean, Dionysus is not just the god of theater, but the god of wine. And
Mhm,
so here I am trying to mourn you, trying to like create a eulogy, and I'm doing the one thing I know I'm not supposed to do, the one thing that I, know will harm me. And so partway through, when I do take those few sips, it's that feeling of like, I hope this is the right thing to do. I hope this is worth it.
yeah,
Um, I said before, all of Rebecca's work feels like eulogy to me.
that's
Um,
really interesting.
Especially knowing that many of the places she photographed, including this theater, don't exist anymore.
Mhm,
So that idea of mourning. those who passed sort of pervaded my every attempt I made to write a poem to this was a eulogy of some kind. Um, so that's the main element, though. I was like, I'm trying to have a religious experience, but my own sort of limitations are getting in the way of it.
Mhm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, just beautiful expression, and there's a little piece of me that feels as if in that the wine is that theater living in you. That that's those of us who love the arts and love theater in particular. The show is over, but the reverberation continues, and that's what you're hoping, I'm sure, as someone who performs or works backstage or writes. All of the folks that create a work of art like that, it's not over when the last note is played or sung or the last line is given or the last bow. Even it stays with the audience, hopefully, to become part of that community experience.
Well, I had to imagine that a god of the theater has to be used to death,
Yeah.
like, and must in some way revel in it, or else why put himself through it? And then for myself, well, why do I put myself through it?
Hmm.
I think our intentions are aligned there.
Yeah. Excellent. Beautiful
Yeah.
poem. Thank you so much.
Well, thank you, Kim. Thank you all for listening. As always, you can check the description if you want to read further. I'll also put a link to last week's or last episodes. I'm not quite sure when they're going to be coming out. Very soon after one after the other. And we're so excited to see you. And Kim, again, when was that date? How long can we expect this exhibit to be up?
This exhibit is up until June 9th. Come in. The gallery is always free. And there is a 2 floors of beautiful art. Rebecca's on the lower, and then another whole juried exhibit on the second floor.
Yeah, above and below, it's called. You don't want to miss that. We could have sat here and written poems to that one as well. It's lots of inspiration as ever to find here at the Cotuit Gallery. I think that'll do it for us for this week. Our next exhibit is the famous Piece by Piece. We've been seeing the panels coming in, and I'm so excited for them to go up. And we'll be sure to have something to share with you for that exhibit as well. So until then, thank you, Kimmy B. Come check out the Cape Cod Can show coming up in just a couple weeks here, and we'll see you all soon.